Welcome back to Sportsworld. As you look at the skyline of New York City, we are here on location ahead of the U.S. Open Tennis, which begins in a few days. It's not the only big sporting event on the calendar, though. Also set to begin the IAAF Championships in Osaka, Japan. And when it comes to world athletics, of course, many eyes will be on the showcase event, the men's 100 meters. Tyson Gay is currently the fastest man on the planet, and he told Al Jazeera's Carrie Brown why he's being tipped to perhaps break the world record this year.
Now, Tyson, you've raced 9.76, unfortunately wind assisted. You must be having dreams or even maybe nightmares about setting that new time.
Not really, but I've had dreamed about it, I've had, a lot of mental thoughts about it, but it seems that it's going to have to be a special time when it comes. You can't make it come, it's going to be a feeling. So I'm looking forward to that feeling, though.
What are the dreams? What happens in your dreams?
Actually, it's a little faster than 9.76. It's around like 9.74, but I don't know. And then I'm celebrating, I'm jumping up and down, I'm happy,
Now, you talk about 9.74, but Atto Bolden says you've hit 9.68 in training.
Yeah, but that's pan time, so give or take, not really accurate, but it's still a good sign to look forward to.
Tyson, you've enjoyed the best season of your career, but oddly at a time when your coach is, of all things, in prison over financial irregularities. So how have you been conducting your training?
Yeah, well, basically, he gets out in 28 days now, so, I think he'll probably be the hottest coach on the planet once he gets out, because his workouts are working fantastic. He calls me like once a week and tells me what he wants me to do or how I should prepare for this race. So it's really been working, and he gave me a workout book to follow through this process.
So you've been taking all your training tips from a notebook. That takes quite a lot of self-discipline.
Exactly, but you have to do it. It's helped me mature a lot. So other athletes have done it as well, such as Veronica Campbell, but it's working pretty well.
Becoming the fastest man certainly this season, you've also had to take on more responsibilities, questioned constantly about drugs. What have you personally got to say about drugs?
A few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, it used to bother me, but it doesn't bother me anymore, because I realized that I've been running fast time since '05, but no one ever questioned me about drugs. Last year, I wasn't getting questioned about drugs, because Asafa was winning, so maybe he was getting all the drug questions. And now since I'm winning races, I'm getting the questions. So it kind of just comes with the territory. So I'm used to it, So it's just my job to stay clean and do what I have to do to run even faster.
I can assure you, Asafa was asked all the drugs questions.
Oh.
It might make you feel better. Now, unfortunately, you haven't been able to race against Asafa Pal. He says he's been injured, maybe getting in some sneaky training. Has that been awkward for you?
I don't want to call it sneaky, but I think he is training extremely hard. I really understand he wants this gold medal, and I want this gold medal. We both are medalists. So, I think it's best that we waited to race in Osaka. It's going to be more exciting, Unfortunately, someone has to lose, So, I think he's been training. He's healthy. He's 100%, and I'm getting right back to 100%. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, not only are you looking to be the fastest man in the 100 metres, you could well become the fastest man in the 200 metres, multi-talented. Who are your big rivals out there?
I think the 200 meters right now, is one of the hottest, races out. Unfortunately, Xavier Carter has been injured, but once he gets back to health, I think you're going to see me, him, Wallace, Usain Bolt, Devlin, Obakwelu, all of us run, the 200 later on in the season. And when everyone sees us line up, I think you're going to see a fantastic race.
Now, of course, one of your big rivals is Wallace Spearman. Unlike Asafa Pal, you get to train with him quite regularly. He's your training partner. Does that help you?
I think so. It's not as much as some people think, because he's more of a 2-4 runner, I'm more of a 1-2. But every once in a while, we get to step in the same thing and do some workouts together. So I think it does help us both.
Now, you've been given that training notebook from your coach. Any motivational tips in there from him?
Nah, no philosophy, just hard work, no tips, but my own philosophy basically is, hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. A lot of people tell me I'm talented, so I'm starting to work harder this year, so I think that's what's paying off.
Well, over my shoulder, the famous Brooklyn Bridge, one of the great old landmarks of New York City, been around since the late 1800s. John McEnroe hasn't been around that long, but he is a veteran of the tennis game. He's 48 now and has been out of it 15 years as a player, but still active as a commentator and still very opinionated as he was on court in his day. So no surprise really that John McEnroe was pretty entertaining when he spoke to Sportsworld about a variety of tennis subjects, beginning with the US Open.
Well, the French is, you'd say arguably the most physical. You're out there on clay, and there's a lot of physical points. And Wimbledon mentally is, you could say, the toughest because there's so much frustration. You're coming on off the court. Things happen fast. The Open sort of combines that. So, all in all, especially if you get some really hot conditions, it can be unbelievably tough. Plus, you have to deal with day and night matches, which you don't at the French and Wimbledon. So I would say that you could definitely make an argument it's the toughest one. Plus, you've played a pretty long season. You're into the 9th month of the year there, and so that makes it pretty exciting. But physically, it takes its toll. Obviously, the hard courts. Your body takes more of a pounding, and if it gets hot, it can be rough. I like it because I think that it's a case where the umpire can feel secure that if he does make a mistake, that it can be overturned, and then the outcome of a match may not be determined on a bad call. And I think even umpires don't want to be the reason why a match was swayed one way or the other, except when I played. Then they wanted to screw me. But the other people that I've watched them umpire against, you would think that they were not looking to sort of favor one person or the other. So this allows a little security. I think they'd do a better job because there'll be less pressure, because the player can go challenge a call. It does eliminate the sort of give and take, if you want to call it that, between the umpire and a player. So you're looking at like Tyrannosaurus Rex of tennis. Dinosaurs, guy played with a wood racket, had a give and take with an umpire. I don't think you're going to be seeing that much anymore. So you can feel whatever way you want to, but I'm the last of a dying breed.
And that's going to do it for this edition of Sports World. We're here in New York City, just ahead of the US Open tennis, the final Grand Slam of the year. And a reminder that you can keep up to date with all the sports news and stories on our website at aljazeera.net/English. That's also a way you can let us know what you think about our show. I'm Brendan Connor in the Big Apple. So long for now. You're watching Al Jazeera.